Hello. So today I want to tell you about The Hobbit, There and Back Again. And this is a game that I picked up at my friendly local game store. Shout out to Phoenix Fire Games. And this is the first Lord of the Rings game I have ever played. Yes, I know The Hobbit is connected to Lord of the Rings, but is not Lord of the Rings. I have never watched any of the movies. I've never read any of the books. Don't come for me. I'm new to this. So I was supposed to read The Hobbit in high school, but this thing called SparkNotes existed and I didn't. So this game really intrigued me though, because it is a roll and write, which I really love any of those like verb and write games. So for this one, everybody gets a book and it has 8 adventures in it and it comes with 4 books. I have only played this solo. So everything in it is soloable, or you play it multiplayer. So you open up to your part and it's going to have a specific journey that you are going to go on that thematically takes you through the Hobbit. So things get more intense as stuff goes on until you get to the 8th and final part. You obviously can play this straight through in the order that it is intended, or you can skip around and play chapters however you want because it's your game and do what you like. My brain, I have to play it all the way through first before I can then go back and forth. So you have this book that's going to tell you about each chapter of the game. So it's going to give you basic gameplay stuff that applies to everything. And then for each of your actual missions, so for part 1, it's going to tell you specifically about part 1 and how that works. And then at the back, it will tell you for solo, for each part, how many rounds you get, because you have a round limit since other players aren't going to be ending the round. You have a round limit, and it will tell you if you have anything else that is going to be changing or happening during that round that would differ from the traditional game. And you have your round tracker right here. So you just track each of your rounds. So for example, for part 1, you only get 8 rounds to complete the objective. And then at different times, you have to mark things off that would simulate other players marking those things off. So because this is a game when you play multiplayer and you roll the dice and other players are picking the dice. So for example, in part 1, I have to separate dice out like this. It's the way that they land. So I can pick something from group 1. I must take group 2, and then I can pick something for group 3 on my turn. And in this one, I'm needing to connect all of the elves together and then get them out. So I'm using the dice to do that. There's also other symbols on the dice that correspond to different abilities and different resources that you can collect. So there's things like swords and bread and pine cones, I believe they are. That's what I call them. And so you're going to, this is all dry erase. You're going to get benefits over here by collecting more things. You're going to get to place things on here. There's benefits on the board. And so then when you're playing solo or when you're playing multiplayer and reach the end condition, you score up, you see what your score was, and then you can move on to the next adventure. So this is a really fun roll and write because everything is different. You're getting essentially 8 games in one that, yes, have a story and it goes through all the way. And I'm sure if you've read The Hobbit or watched The Hobbit or know anything about The Hobbit, it makes a lot more sense. And that thematic element is even more enjoyable. I haven't read or done any of those things, and I still really love this. Has it made me want to watch the movie or read the book? Not really, and that's okay. So I know there are 1,000,001 Lord of the Rings and Hobbit games out there. I would love to know, what one should I try next? Have you played this one? What do you think of it? Give me a like and a follow, and I'll keep bringing you more board game content. Thanks. Bye.